L is the magnetic path length, and M is the magnetic pole strength, and A is the cross-sectional area of the magnet where flux is flowing. So M into L, M is the pole strength into L is the effective length of the magnetic path. So M into L, that is your magnetic moment, divided by A into L. Someone is trying to admit. Okay. So M into L divided by A into L means V, that is volume. So that is equal to magnetic moment per unit volume. So alternately, you can define that uh, magnetic moment per unit volume is also intensity of magnetism. Now, this can be defined as pole strength per unit area of the magnetic path, effective magnetic path. So that is also intensity of magnetism, or the magnetic moment per unit volume of the intensity of magnetism. Now, what is your magnetizing force? That is called MMF. That is analogous to EMF in the electric circuit, in magnetic circuit. Magnetizing, magnetomotive force, not magnetizing force, that is your magnetomotive force. So it is the work in moving a unit magnetic pole once around the magnetic circuit. Just like your uh, electromotive force, that is the work done by a unit charge to a point. So magnetic EMF for a point, EMF to of a point, that is your work done of a unit uh, charge from infinite to carry infinite distance to a specific point. That is the electromotive force of that point, or EMF of that point. Similarly, so there is a magnetic circuit. In that magnetic circuit, that is work done by unit magnetic pole once around the magnetic circuits. So it is the MMF. So if you want to carry uh, a unit north pole once around the magnetic circuits, then the work done by that unit north pole, that is your magnetomotive force. So MMF, that can be defined as number of turns into I, ampere turn. Ampere, I is the current, and N is the number of turns. So ampere turn, that is the magnetomotive force. That is analogous to electromotive force.
Sir, N is the number of turns.
Yes, N is the number of turns of a coil, and I
Sir,
is the
I
current.
is
Yes,
current or intensity?
I is the current. If a coil is there, a number of turn is N, and current which is flowing I. So ampere turn, that is your magnetomotive force. Ampere turn, this is your turn, and this is your current. In case of electromotive force, that is your work done, that is your V, means uh, voltage, that is the potential. So one point to another point, if you want to define magnetomotive force, that is the, if you want to carry one point to another point, magnetomotive force in between 2 points, if you want to define that, to carry one unit north pole from one point to another point in a magnetic field. So that is the work done in between 2 point. Sorry. that is the work done by this unit north pole to carry one point to another point. That is the magnetomotive force difference in between 2 points. Similarly, electromotive force difference, that is to carry one unit positive charge from one point to another point. So that is your electromotive force. In
Sir,
case of
who is
magnetomotive,
doing the work?
yes.
Sir, to carry a unit North Pole, sir, who is doing the work?
Actually, if you want to carry, if there is a magnetic field and if there is a unit north pole, that is a perpetual consideration of north pole. You cannot get unit north pole. So you should have a force. You should have a force. That is the That is the uh, that is the force. That is if m is the charge, m is the pole strength of a magnet. A magnet is there. M is the pole strength of that magnet, and there is also unit north pole. Unit north pole is there. There is a magnet here. So there is a repulsive force according to your Newton's law. So if the distance is d and pole strength, unit north pole means pole strength is 1. So I have already defined this m into 1, the force that is proportional to m into 1 divided by d square according to uh, Newton's law. So this is the repulsive force. So if you want to carry one unit north pole to one point to another point, you have to do some work against the magnetic force of repulsion. So if you do some work, that work is nothing but the force into effective distance you want to carry. So if the force, there is a magnetizing force or magnetic field strength is H. So if the length, effective length you are traveling, that is L, so it is the work done. That is H is the field strength into L is the effective length you are traveling. Unit north pole is traveling. So work done by the unit north pole, that is H into L. So H is the field strength, magnetic field strength.
Sir, what is the formula of magnetic field strength? That is H.
Magnetic field strength. So magnetic field strength, according to your Coulomb's law, so if the current is flowing in a uh, coil, if a current is flowing in a coil, then there is a formula that is field strength, that is m into that force. Actually field strength means force H. That H is equal to m is the magnetizing force. So m into unit north pole, that is force experienced on the unit north pole, that is m into 1 divided by d square. So that is the magnetizing force. That is the magnetizing force. So if the magnetizing force is there, so that force is the magnetizing force. That force that will develop the strength. So that force into distance, that is your work done. That H is the magnetizing force. So that magnetizing force is experienced the strength. So that is the strength of the magnetic field. So that force is experienced on the unit north pole. So that force into distance you are covering, that is your work done. So this work done can be carried out, that is your N into I. N into I, this ampere turn, that will cover the magnetomotive force experienced. That magnetomotive force is the cause for drawing the flux over a magnetic circuit. So it is the cause drawing the flux to a magnetic circuit. You understand my point? Since the electromotive force, that is the cause drawing the current in a electric circuit, the magnetomotive force, that is the cause to draw the magnetic flux to a magnetic path. Do you have any query? Hello? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any query now?
No, sir.
You can say the magnetic potential. Magnetic potential, that is your uh, the potential at any point, that is analogous to magnetic potential. That is the magnetic potential at any point within the magnetic field is measured by the work done by shifting a unit north pole from infinite to a point. So actually it is not force, it is your magnetic potential. Magnetomotive force it is said, but actually it is magnetic potential. Like electric potential, it drives the current to a circuit. Like magnetic potential, it drives the flux to a magnetic circuit. So actually, you can say that it is a magnetic potential. So if you define this magnetomotive force here, it is nothing but the magnetic potential. So that magnetic potential, if there is a distance r or d rather, then magnetic potential m, that is equal to m is the field strength of the existing magnetic field and pole strength of the unit north pole, that is 1, divided by r square. That is your, that is proportional. That m is proportional to m into 1 by 1 is the field strength of unit north pole and m is the pole strength of the magnetic field, divided by r square into, or here I am defining it is d, so it is d square into, if there is a distance d you want to move, so ultimately that is proportional to m by d, and proportionality constant, that is 4 pi mu 0. So m by d into 4 pi mu 0, that is your magnetic potential. So this magnetic potential is analogous to electric potential. So that will drive, magnetic potential will drive flux to a magnetic path. That will drive flux to a magnetic path. So field strength is H. Field strength is uh, the magnetizing force. But magnetomotive force, that is a magnetic potential. That potential will drive flux. And if you want to carry or move one pole from one point to another point, it is against your magnetizing force. As you are doing some displacement against your magnetizing force, you are doing some work. That work is done by unit north pole. So that work is analogous to magnetomotive force. That is nothing but the magnetic potential that will drive flux to a magnetic circuit. Just like analogous to electric potential that can drive current to a conductive circuit. You understand my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is permeability of the material? So permeability is of a material is a kind of magnetic material is a kind of property that dictate how much potential of that material to flow of the flux. So how much flux it can carry, the magnetic circuit can carry. So permeability defines the conductivity of the magnetic circuit. Means if just like analogous to conductivity of electric circuit, so permeability is the conductivity of the magnetic circuit. So how much flux it can drive, permeability of the magnetic material can define. Just like conductivity of a material can define how much current can be flown through a conductive circuit or a conductor, just like permeability. That is analogous to conductivity. And there is also absolute permeability. So that can be defined by mu zero. That is the permeability of air. So that can that is 4.10 to the minus 7 Henry per meter. So absolute permeability of a magnetic material is much greater. So relative permeability of a material normally defined, that is mu r. So actual permeability, so sorry, firstly you define the relative permeability, that is equal to actual permeability mu divided by mu r, sorry, mu zero. So mu is equal to mu zero into mu r. The absolute permeability is the permeability of air or vacuum medium. So that is defined, that 4 into 10 to the minus 7 Henry per meter. For air, relative permeability is 1, as because this actual permeability is for air, that is nothing but the absolute permeability. So mu r for air is 1. It is very well. Now there is another term, that is your reluctance. Reluctance is analogous to resistance of electric circuit. So reluctance, that also defines how much opposition is carried out in the magnetic material to flow of flux. So that is equal to L by A mu 0 mu r. L is the effective length of the magnetic path, and A is the effective cross sections of the magnetic path, and mu 0 absolute permeability, mu r is the relative permeability. So one difference in between resistance, the resistance is equal to R into that rho into L by A. So current always flow to the conductive path, but flux can flow if there is a U-shaped magnet. So flux can flow in the air also. So some part that flux is carrying, so it originates from N pole and terminate to S pole. So there is air also. So in case of reluctance measurement, sometimes you may have to carry out this, that is sum of L by A into 1 by mu 0 mu r. So sum of L by A means, so there may have some air medium and there may have some air medium, and then there may have some magnetic medium also. So these two mediums are there. So if the magnetic medium having length path length that is L1 and cross section is A1, and air medium having path length is L2, cross section is A2. So sum of L by A into 1 by mu 0 mu r. So in case of uh, mu 0 for AR that is mu 0 and mu r there may have some value. So you can have this like L1 by A1 mu 0 mu r 1 plus L2 by A2 mu 0 mu r 2 like this. But in case of a resistive circuit, always current can flow through a conductive path. So the current cannot flow in through air. So it must have some resistivity, common resistivity. If that resistivity defines the property of of the conductor. So that may be copper, that may be aluminum, that may be silver, like this. So this is analogous to the resistance, and the effective value, that is your unit, that is your ampere turn per Weber, ampere turn per Weber. Because you know that reluctance R, that is equal to mmf divided by flux. So that is mmf is nothing but the ampere turn, and flux is Weber. So ampere turn per Weber is the unit of reluctance. Just like in resistance, that is volt by current, ampere. So that is your resistance. So resistance is analogous to reluctance.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, for the U-shaped magnet, sir, can you please tell, sir, which one will be the L and which one will be the A?
Actually, in U-shaped magnet, uh, you have to notice how the flux is carrying. So there may have some flux that is carrying through the magnetic material, and there always flux originate from N pole and terminate at S pole. So some of the path it is covering through the air. So if you consider the flux that is flowing through the magnetic material, and that may be, say, path length is L1 and cross section is A1, and magnetic material have relative permeability mu R1, and then another path is there, that flux is traveling through the air, and that depends on different things. That is the that depends on fringing field effect, means how the sharpness at this point is there. If the sharpness is very high, then fringing field effect will uh, distort some amount of flux. So if the sharpness is there, so if the sharpness is there, there is the surface area is quite low. So flux density at the edges portion is much more high. So when it coming into the center point, it is quite less denser, and it coming to the edges portions, it coming more, flux density is more, like this. So that is the fringing effect of the sharpness, as because the flux density is defined by the flux per unit area. At the sharp point, the area is less, and so flux density is more. So this portion flux is much denser, and this portion is less denser. Like this, when the flux is traveling to the air, lot of criterias are there. So here the flux density is quite different. That also defined, that dictated by the permeability. Also, air permeability is quite less than the permeability of the magnetic material. So there must have some uh, consideration of the flux path length, as well as consideration of the cross section through which the flux is traveling through the air. That is different than the flux when it is flowing through the magnetic material. So if you define that L1 is the length of the path when it is traveling through the magnetic material, and L2 is the length of path when it is traveling to the air. Then formula will be like this. There may have some different media also. So when the magnetic
The,
flux, yes,
sir, will the path of the flux be given to us in the question?
that may be given to any question. So there may have some
So
different.
if it is not given, how are we to figure out what path the flux will take?
Normally it is given. So there may
Oh,
have some U-shaped magnet like this, and there may have to complete or to reduce the permeability. There may have some I-shaped magnet like this. Always, and this length is very low to increase the to decrease the reluctance. So all flux then flow through this path like this.
Sir, then for area, we have to take the cross-sectional area of the magnet only for air also.
That you can take, but normally to reduce the reluctance, there may have some I-shaped magnet also, and flux is traveling like this path. So this portion you have to consider how much is the distance. This portion how you have to consider how much is the distance. In distance, you can consider that this is your L1 and this path is your L2. Total path, if the same material is there, I section and U section, same material is there. So this path you can consider, and this path you can consider. This is specified length, and this portion you can measure. This portion you can measure. So twice L1 is the path which magnetic material is traveling, and the effective cross section you can take that. This is the effective cross section. Same cross sections like this. Say if it is passing through the magnetic material, that portion is L2. Then this is also you can consider E1. This is R1 and this is mu 0, mu R2, mu R2, like this. So when you solve a problem, then it can be you can understand it better.
Sir, can you please repeat the unit of reluctance?
Actually, unit of reluctance is nothing but magnetomotive force by flux. So magnetomotive force unit is ampere turn. Flux unit is Weber. So
The
ampere turn,
what is turn?
ampere turn per unit Weber. That is your reluctance. Turn have no unit actually, but sometimes it is termed as ampere turn. Ampere turn is a identical unit of magnetomotive force.
Sir, isn't the unit of flux Weber L
Weber is
cube?
the unit of flux.
Weber L cube L square, right?
Yes,
Sir, isn't the unit of magnetic flux Weber area Weber L square?
Weber, only Weber. Magnetic flux unit is Weber.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hmm.
Sir, that 80 by Weber, that was for dimensions.
Yes, dimension. Ampere
Okay,
turn per Weber is the dimension of reluctance.
okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can define what is permeance. Permeance. It is just like the reciprocal of reluctance that is measured of the case with which the flux can pass through the material. That is the reciprocal of the reluctance. 1 by reluctance, that is your permeance. Just like 1 by conductance, that is equal to 1 by resistance. So permeance is a property that defines how easily flux can flow through a magnetic material. That is your permeance. Just like conductance is a property of the electric conductor that can define how easily current can flow through a conductor. So this is the reciprocal of reluctance. That is your permeance. Now, what is reluctivity? So it is the specific reluctance in a magnetic circuit and correspond to the resistivity, just like it is analogous to the resistivity of the electric circuit. You know the resistivity of the electric circuit, so that define how much specific resistance a conductive circuit can dictate. That is your resistivity, just like reluctivity is analogous to the resistivity of reluctivity of the magnetic circuit. That is your specific reluctance of that magnetic circuit, and that is defined by a property of the magnetic material. That's just like analogous to the resistivity of a electric circuit. Just like resistivity defines how much resistance is there, so reluctivity also defines how much reluctance is there in a magnetic circuit. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, it is 1 by mu, reluctivity.
No, it is not 1 by mu. You know that reluctance, that is equal to L by A mu 0 mu r. So it is in case of resistance R, that is equal to rho into L by A.
So, sir, rho is equals to
It
1
is
upon mu
analogous
naught
to,
mu r.
if this is analogous to this, so 1 by mu 0 mu r is the reluctivity. That's
Yes, sir, that's what I'm talking.
so rho is analogous to 1 by mu 0 mu. You can say that. So if the resistivity is more, then resistance is more, and if the reluctivity more, means 1 by mu 0 mu r is more, then reluctance is more. So you know the resistivity is directly proportional to the resistance. If more resistivity is there, resistance is there. But permeability mostly used to define a magnetic circuit. So if permeability is more, then reluctivity is less. If permeability is less, reluctivity is more. So normally reluctivity is not popularly used. This term is not popularly used. Popularly used term is your permeability to define how easily flux can flow through a magnetic circuit. Just like resistivity is also popular. So resistivity must be specified for a specific conductive material. Similarly, permeability is specified. Relative permeability of a specified is absolutely specified for each magnetic material, and absolute permeability is, you know, that is a defined, already defined. That is 4 pi into 10 to the minus 7 Henry per meter. So specifically, if you want to define the permeability of a material, it is specified relative permeability. Similarly, resistivity is specified for a specified conductor. For copper, there is a specific resistivity. For aluminium, there is a specific resistivity, like this. Now, we can compare the electric circuit and magnetic circuit. When I come to the page break option, some of the portion is coming to the next page also. So blank page, insert blank page option, some of the portion is coming to the next page also. First of all, in a magnetic circuit, there must have some closed path. That is your magnetic circuit. Actually, closed path that may flux can flow through the air also. If there is a ring shape, so flux can pass to the air also. So current is flowing here. And flux is flowing to the circuit, and some portion of flux is flowing to the air also. N is the number of turn and I is the driving current. So always your flux should flow. So that requires the magnetic circuit to flow the flux. Similarly, in electric circuit, that requires conductive path so that current can be flown. So MMF drives the flux through the path and EMF drives the current to the conductive circuit. Just like MMF drives current flux to the electric circuit. Just like. So we can say that the flux phi equal to MMF, that is Ni ampere turn divided by uh, your reluctance R. Similarly, current I, that is equal to EMF, that is your volt divided by resistance R. So you know the property MMF, that is just like EMF. MMF is just like EMF, and reluctance just like resistance. I have already defined, that is L by A mu 0 mu r, L by A mu 0 mu r, and here resistance, that is equal to rho into L by A. Rather, it is always it is defined, since the flux is flowing through the uh, different medium, some air medium is there. Rather, it is specified as a reluctance as a sum of L by A. mu r, mu 0. Rather, it is specified. Different medium is there. So flux is flowing through the air medium also. So mu r of the air is also, mu r of the air is 1. Relative permeability of air is 1. If there is a magnetic material, relative permeability, there must have some specified value. Like this, sum of L by A means mu r into 1 by mu 0. But always current should flow through the resistive path. So specified conductive resistivity of a path is there. Now you know the flux density B, that is equal to flux per unit area where it is flowing, and current density J, that is equal to current per unit area. That is ampere per square meter, and it is Weber per square meter, meter square. That is the unit. And mmf drop, that is equal to flux into reluctance. Similarly, EMF drop, that is equal to current into resistance, just like it is analogous. So actually, magnetic intensity. So magnetic intensity you know the mmf magnetomotive force is Ni, but magnetic intensity you can define that is Ni by L. That is equal to Ni by L. That is ampere turn per unit length. Just like electric intensity, electric field intensity, that is the magnetic field intensity, and just like electric field intensity. That is equal to volt per meter, means volt per unit length. So here ampere turn per unit length, and here volt per unit length. V means volt.
So B is flux density.
B is the flux density.
Okay, sir.
It is volt per meter, and it is ampere turn per meter. Ampere turn per meter. So magnetic field intensity is analogous to the electric field intensity. So here ampere turn per meter, and here it is volt per meter. So ampere turn is analogous to volt. Ampere turn is the magnetomotive force, and volt is the electromotive force. And just like permeance is 1 by reluctance, conductance is also 1 by resistance. That is 1 by reluctance, and similarly conductance, that is 1 by resistance. 1 by resistance. So reluctivity is analogous to the resistivity of the circuit, and if there is a multiple paths and flux is flowing through different paths having different reluctance, and you can say that total mmf when the flux is flowing in different reluctance mmf in total, that is summation of phi r. So fly is same, flux is flowing through the total path, that is magnetic path, that is same, but reluctance is varying. If some amount of flux is flowing through the air, the reluctance of air is different than the reluctance of magnetic material. So sum of phi r, just like emf in total That is sum of I into R. So these are all the similarity in between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. But there are some dissimilarities also. Some of the portion is coming into another page when I insert blank page. So if I get the page break option,
Sir, bring the cursor down and then, sir, go for page break.
okay. So this is actually some amount of portion is becoming to the footer portion, and that's why it coming to those portion is coming to the footer portion that goes to the next page. That is the main problem. So if I write above footer portion, then it is not there. Anyhow, some dissimilarities are there. First of all, flux doesn't actually flow. So you can experience flux by magnetic needle test. You can experience a magnetic field by magnetic needle test. But flux is a perpetual thinking that it is flowing to create a magnetic field. But current always flows actually. So current is actually it flows, but flux is not actually flow. It is a perpetual thinking that flux is flowing and that magnetic field is creating. This is number 1 point. No absolute flux, actual flux, existence. But current always exists. Next point, you may be heard there is a current insulator. There must have some insulator. So without insulator, you can do nothing. In case of electric machine, there must have some insulation in between conductor, in between different turns also. In between bare conductor, one conductor to another conductor, varnish insulation is there. Turn to another turn, there is paper insulation is there. When insulated conductor is wound on a coil former, there must have some insulation. So insulation is actually there. It offers insulation resistance, but there is no magnetic insulator. Flux can set up even in air also.
Sir, what is insulation, sir? We know insulator, but what is insulation?
Actually, insulation is the device. Insulator is the device that offer insulation. Just like insulator, say there is a pole. So you want to fix a coil to a pole. There must have some insulator. So you can tie a conductor here. You are drawing some current. So if you tie a conductor to the insulator, it should not touch to the pole. Then pole is not conductive. Unless you are using this insulator here to fix up the conductor of the pole without insulator, then the pole should be insulated. You may have seen the electric train traction line, the electric wires, bare wires. These are tied to the posts. The posts are conductive. If you touch this post, you can be electrocuted. So this live conductor should be connected to the post through an insulator, unless the post should be conductive. Sometimes insulators are used in a transformer. It is called the bushing. So transformer wires, there may have some winding. So windings are coming out the outside of the transformer. This portion is metal part. So inside there is winding. So if there is inside winding, so this winding should be coming out through the insulator. This portion is insulator, and this portion is bare conductor. You can connect this portion to another path. But this to coming out through this portion is metal part, conductive part. There must have some oil insulation inside. But to coming out this conductor through this insulator, unless this metal part, outer cover should be conductive. You understand my point? This is your insulator. It is termed as bushing. So bushings are used. This is one kind of insulator. So bushings are used to to draw the conductor that is coming out from the transformer to the outside terminal. So this is the insulation. You understand my point?
Sir,
Yes?
so can't we say that superconductors are magnetic insulators?
No,
Because they will
superconductor-
repel all of the magnetic flux through it.
Superconductor is a very much conductive. Very, very much.
But I'm saying about magnetic flux. There wouldn't be any magnetic flux, so there wouldn't be any ID currents. So that's why they're conducting. That's why they're called superconductors.
No, superconductor having conductivity much more than a normal conductor. In
Yeah, I'm talking
cryogenic
about-
temperature, so superconductor means its conductivity is very, very much high. That's
Yes,
why-
sir. But I've read that in superconductors, the magnetic it's a purest diamagnetic material, means the best diamagnetic material. So it will repel all the magnetic field that will pass through it. So we
No.
can we say that it's a magnetic insulator?
No. I have worked in superconductor. I have some work in superconductive tape. So I have figured out how much flux is penetrating capacity of a superconductive tape. So unless there is superconductive magnets are there, magnetic levitation, you have termed this name magnetic levitation,
Yes.
where high speed train it is used. But this is a very, very high amount of current is flown through the superconductive tape, and since the current is very much high, so ampere turn is very much high. So if you want to increase the magnetomotive force, the magnetic levitation means very high magnetic field is created there. So if you want to increase the magnetomotive force, you can increase the number of turns or you can increase the current. You understand my point? So
Yes.
there is a limitation of increment of number of turn. You cannot infinitely increase the number of turn, but you can increase using superconductive wire. Current can be 1,000 to 10,000 times more than a copper conductor in cryogenic temperature. That is that is a 70 Kelvin temperature. Cryogenic research labs are there in IIT Kharagpur. So their superconductive works are going on. In our Jadavpur University, no cryogenic engineering lab. So in cryogenic temperature, say 70 Kelvin temperature near, the conductivity of that specific superconductive material may be 1,000 to 10,000 times more than a normal conductor. So it is not magnetic insulator. It can penetrate magnetic flux. I have worked about
But
this.
very less flux will pass through it, right?
No. it can penetrate flux.
Yes,
There
it
is a
can.
maximum capacity. Unless it penetrate, so you cannot increase the force. There must have some superconductive motors also, superconductive magnets, superconductive motors also. That superconductive motor, if you cannot penetrate some amount of flux, you cannot drive that huge amount of force, or you cannot create huge amount of flux. So very high uh, capacity magnet, superconductive magnets. It can penetrate flux. It is not magnetic insulator. It and amount of current which is flown, that is 1,000 times that of normal conductor. That is superconductor. I have solved Maxwell equation in superconductive tape to and use uh, finite element method for solving the how much magnetic field can penetrate in a superconductive tape. So it can penetrate magnetic flux. It is not magnetic insulator. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the value of
Sir,
yes,
could you please explain the first point, sir? You said no, there is no actual flux existence. Flux doesn't actually exist. Sir, what does that mean?
that means you can uh, feel the current flow, that is nothing but the electron flow. The rate of flow of electron, that is your current. That is charge Q is equal to C into T. So C is equal to Q by T. So rate of flow of charge, that is your current. But just like flux actually, it doesn't actually flow. That means that may have some magnetic field, and perpetual thinking is there that flux is flowing. To originate a flux, some amount of magnetic, uh, some amount of reactive power is required. But to continue the flow of flux, no power is wasted at all. But as long as current is flowing in a electric circuit, the power is wasted. So only to sustain the magnetic flux, the reactive power is required. But to continue magnetic flux, no reactive power is required. But as long as you continue current flow through a electric circuit, always the active power is wasted. So that means the flux actually, there is a existent in perpetual thinking for creating a magnetic field. So if you uh, take a needle, magnetic needle, to a place where current is flowing, so if magnetic field is created, that field will distort the magnetic needle. So that's how you are experiencing there is a magnetic field. But you can always experience the current is flowing through a conductor. But you cannot experience just like current, you cannot define just like flow of flux. You can define the flow of charge, rate of flow of charge is current. But you cannot flow that rate of flow of what thing that will create the flux. You cannot define this just like a flux, just like a current you are defining. So it is, I am saying that no actual existence of flux, it is perpetual thinking for explaining a magnetic field is there. So flux is flowing. You understand my point?
Yes, sir.
Actually, whenever there is a magnetic field, if you take some magnetic material there may have some force of attraction like this. Means if there is a magnetic field, okay, if there is a magnetic field, flux is flowing here, magnetizing material is there, flux is flowing. So if there is a magnetic if there is any another material is there, say this material just like it can be movable. So one side is hinged and other side it can be movable. Okay. So flux is flowing. So this portion is air. This portion is magnetic material. This portion is air. This portion is magnetic material. This portion is air, and this portion is also magnetic material. So this portion is tight, and it can be movable, just like. So whenever flux is flowing, and flux is cutting here, there may have some force of attraction that will be experienced here. So this portion is trying to experience some amount of force so that the net effective path reluctance is minimum. That is the principle of reluctance. So on this basis, flux, since the current should flow through a low resistance path, flux always try to flow through a low reluctance path. So on this basis, a reluctance motor is created. So if there is a sorry.
Sir, do you mean that the concept of flux is hypothetical?
Yes.
Concept of any field is hypothetical, right?
Concept of field is actual. Field is there. But creating the flux, whether flux is flowing there, that is your
Field line.
so reluctance motor is there. So one kind of motor is there. So there is winding. And inside there is another winding. So current is driving the winding, and there is a N pole generation and S pole generation. And this term is a stator term. So electric field is created, and this term is a rotor term. Magnetic field is created. Sometimes this magnetic field, actually permanent magnet is there. Sometimes no. In case of reluctance motor, this field is not actually required for creating. Actually permanent magnet is used. Or sometimes it is not permanent magnet. Sometimes simple uh, magnetic material is used.
Sir, I have one more question.
Please let me finish this. This is simple magnetic material, okay? So different conductors are there in the stator. In reluctance motor, this portion simple magnetic material, no magnet is at all. Rotor part, this is your rotor part, and this is your stator part. Stator part, there are different slots and windings are there. So current is flowing and a magnetic field is created. Okay. So when the magnetic field is created, so flux always flown. So there is another portion like this. This is a magnetic material. Magnetic core. And flux, when the current is flowing through a circuit, the flux is created. So flux normally flows this kind of path. Okay. Now what happens when the conductor current is flowing? The conductor current, if it is alternating in nature, so due to alteration of the current, there is a shifting of magnetic pole, means rotating magnetic field is created here. That is a different principle. I want to explain the reluctance principle, what is going on. So rotating magnetic field is created due to alteration of current. So one time N is N magnet, and then N magnet position is changes. Here N magnet, here S magnet, here N magnet, S magnet, like this. So rotating position is changing. So when the if the rotor becomes static, then this path having less distance than this path. So this portion air is more, this portion air thickness is less. So this portion reluctance is less, this portion reluctance is more. So flux always try to move through a path where reluctance is less. So it will dictate this rotor to move in this direction, in the same direction as the rotating magnetic field. Since when the current is flowing here, reluctance is less, here reluctance is more. So when the current is flowing, when the flux is flowing, its position, if it is still, but rotating magnetic field position changes. Then when it becomes here, the flux path reluctance is more. So reluctance principle says that it will drive this rotor in this direction so that new position becomes such that reluctance path where flux is flowing, that is less. So that is your reluctance force that will drive the rotor towards the same direction of the change of magnetic field, rotating magnetic field. So that is your reluctance principle. So how can we explain this without consideration of flux? Can we explain this without consideration of flux? So you should explain this with the consideration of flux, that flux always flow through a low reluctance path and it will dictate the rotor towards the same direction. As such, it should flow at a low reluctance path, and that's why there is a driving force in the rotor, and rotor will rotate towards the same direction as that of the rotating magnetic field. And there is a coupling. Coupling means field coupling. The rotor, that is the induced magnetic pole here in the rotor, and actual magnetic field that is rotating. So induced magnetic field and actual magnetic field, here the induced magnetic field is S, actual induced magnetic field is N. If it's the actual magnetic field is N, induced magnetic field is S. So flux originate from the N and terminate to the S. So it will drive the rotor towards the same direction as that of the rotating magnetic field, so that flux should travel in a low reluctance path. That is called the reluctance motor. So that is the principle of reluctance motor. Normally, a motor must have some rotor. Either rotor is energized by a magnetic electric coil, or sometimes a permanent magnet is used. But in reluctance motor, rotor is simply a magnetic material, no magnetic pole, only induced magnetic pole is created in the rotor. And as per the reluctance principle, rotor is magnetic field is guided the rotor so that reluctance in the flux path becomes minimum. So unless you are explaining through the flux, you cannot explain this. But actually, flux is a perpetual thinking. You are considering for explain the magnetic analysis, magnetic field analysis, nothing else. Actually, current always flows through a conductive path. That is nothing but the electron flow. Electron exists in the material. Free electron always exists. And free electron flow, if there is a field, then electron should be driven from the positive potential to negative potential. It is a actual thinking. But actual thinking of flux, that is not possible. Only you are trying this for maintaining this, explaining this. Please, I have to attend a phone call. হ্যালো হ্যালো স্যার, আমি একটা ক্লাস নিচ্ছি। Okay, you understand my point? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Another thing, another dissimilarity is there. In case of magnetic circuit, the value of permeability, that mu, it is not constant. It depends on residual magnetism. Permeability varies with the variation of flux. Actually, it varies with the flux density. So reluctance of the magnetic circuit is not constant. So if you draw the BH curve, you know the BH curve? If you draw the BH curve,
Yes, sir.
sorry. Please hold on, one phone call is there. হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমি একটা ক্লাসে আছি স্যার, আমি একটা ক্লাস করছি, আমি একটু পরে ফোন করি আপনাকে। নেক্সট, হ্যাঁ স্যার আমি আসবো স্যার। কোনটা কোনটা? ও আচ্ছা, ওই সিলেবাসটা তো রয়েছে দেখলাম আমাদের ওপেন ইলেকট্রিক, মানে যেটা ওই কনজারভেশন, এনার্জি কনজারভেশন এন্ড সাস্টেনেবিলিটি। ও আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, ওটা তো আমি দেখলাম কমন সিলেবাসের মধ্যে আছে, আমি পাঠিয়ে দেবো আপনাকে। আর আমি আমি একটুখানি বলি স্যার আপনাকে। So explaining this BH curve, where intensity is varying. If you vary this intensity, intensity is actually H is equal to Ni by L, or H is proportional to Ni by L. So when current is varying, the field intensity is varying. So it is varying just like this portion. Then you are decreasing current, it does not flow the same path. So that is a residual flux linkage. So then, like this. So residual flux linkage is there, and you can say that this permeability is not fixed for a magnetic material, and it varies with the flux density. So since current is varying, H is varying, so B is equal to mu into H. Flux density is equal to permeability into field intensity. The intensity is varying by variation of current, but flux density is not proportionally varying with the variation of field intensity. So in a magnetic material, permeability is variable with the flux density, but in the electric material, resistivity always constant. So permeability, if you think the permeability, uh, sorry, conductivity, resistivity is analogous to, actually permeability is analogous to the conductivity. So if you consider the conductivity of electric circuit, that conductivity does not vary with the variation of current like this. So conductivity is constant. Conductivity is constant, but permeability is variable. So this is the difference in between the electric circuit and magnetic circuit. Another point is there that I have already told you. Actually, when in a magnetic circuit, when flux is flowing, for sustaining the magnetic flux, reactive energy is required. But for continuation of magnetic flux, no energy is wasted. But in electric circuit, energy is always expanded as long as the current is flowing. So this is
So
the
what is the difference between sustaining and continuing?
sustaining means sustaining means flux should sustain and flow through the conductor. It is the perpetual thinking. If there is a transformer like this, there is a coil like this, there is a conductor. another conductor, and sorry, here current I1 is flowing, and here current I2 is flowing, and flux is created here. Flux is flow through this path. So this flux creation, there some amount of apparent power is taking. So AC supply is there. So some amount of apparent power, that V into I is there. That is the input power. So that input power is having two things. One is Vi cos phi, and that is Vi sin phi. So Vi cos phi is the active power and Vi sin phi is the reactive power. This reactive power is required to sustain the magnetic flux. Means the magnetic flux, for creating the magnetic flux, but not to sustain the magnetic flux here. So reactive power is wasted, but always active power is wasted here. Active power is wasted here. So for creating the flux, the reactive power is required, but active power is required. Actual power is transmitted from this point to this point. There is a magnetic coupling. One coil is there, another coil is there. How the power is transmitted? In any transformer, there are two coils, two winding transformer, single phase two winding transformer. Two coils are there. So one coil is magnetically coupled with another coil. So what happens? There is a flux linkage of one coil into the another coil. Then the induced EMF is generated. So when induced EMF is generated according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, because change of flux linkage, flux is alternating in nature. So change of flux linkage is there. So induced EMF is created. So whenever induced EMF is created in the secondary side, you are connecting with the load. Then current is drawn. So that current, when it is resistive load is there or some amount of any kind of electric load is there, there is a motor. So actual driving force of the motor or actual power which is delivered to the secondary side, that is the active power that does some mechanical work. But some amount of power is required for originate the magnetic flux or sustain the flow of the flux. Originate the magnetic flux, only originating the magnetic flux. So that is your reactive power. Just like in a capacitor, some amount of power is required to carry out the charging current. Charging current is nothing but the capacitor is drawing some amount of charge. So charge is deposited in the capacitor. So some amount of reactive power is required. But in case of magnetic circuit, only for creation of flux is reactive power is required, but not continuing this flux. But in electric circuit, the current always can flow when there is the energy wasted. So energy always wasted when there is a flow of current, but energy is not wasted when there is a flow of flux. That is the main difference. You understand my point? Do you understand my point?
Yes, sir.
Sir, energy will never flow in the flux case.
Energy is not wasted. Actually, wastage of energy
Yes, yes.
for magnetic circuit is nowhere. Only reactive power is required for creating the flux. But energy always wasted whenever you flow a current through electric circuit. And current flows through electric circuit that is dissipated in the amount of heat. That is the wastage energy. Wastage energy is dissipated in terms of heat. But actual magnetic flux, when it is flowing through a circuit, no wastage of energy at all. In a pure magnetic circuit, means a pure inductor that has no resistance at all. But pure inductor is impossible to find. There must have some, in an inductive coil, there must have some little bit resistance. That resistance uh, will waste some amount of power, and it evolves like I square R loss. Heating effect is there, but creating flux, it requires some amount of reactive energy. But sustaining flux, it does not require any amount of energy wastage. You understand my point?
Sir,
Yes,
that
sir.
Vi equals
Hmm?
to Vi cos theta plus I Vi sin theta. So that Vi equals to, sir, what you wrote.
In any circuit, I am just considering a simple circuit.
Yes, sir, that is Vi sin is the reactive power there.
So this is your Vi cos theta is your active power, and Vi sin theta is your reactive power.
Yes, sir, that only, sir.
Vi is the apparent power.
Sir, these
There
are all
must,
the average power, no, sir?
huh?
These are all the average power, no? That is a VI cos theta. Like
Vi cos theta, this is your active
average
power.
average active power.
That must be J into Vi sin theta. Actually, this is a vector. Vi, it is not
That only,
exactly.
sir. That only.
This is equal to Vi cos phi plus J or I. You are terming that I is there, but I am terming J, imaginary term, into Vi sin phi. So Vi cos phi plus J into Vi sin phi. That is your actual apparent Vi. So rather you can say that Vi, that is equal to V I actual magnitude cos phi square plus Vi sin phi square. So that is absolutely Vi. Actual magnitude is this. So this is your active part, and this is your reactive part. Vi sin phi is your reactive part, and Vi cos phi is your active part. Just like a vector sum of Vi cos phi, Vi sin phi. Another thing is your leakage flux and fringing effect. I have already told you, if there is a magnetic path like this, leakage flux and fringing effect. When current I is flowing here, some amount of flux that is flowing through the magnetic material. This is the magnetic material. And this portion is air. So flux when traveling, so there must have some flux that is flowing through this path, through this path. And there must have some flux also that is leaking here also. Some amount of flux that is leaked here, and some amount of flux is flown through the magnetic material. But actually, the flux that pass through the air gap, that is your useful flux. The flux which is flowing through the air gap, that is your useful flux. And this is your magnetic circuit. But leakage flux, this is your leakage flux. So flux that leaks through the air but doesn't pass through the magnetic circuit, that is your liquid flux. And flux that pass through the magnetic path, that is your actual flux, magnetic circuit. This is your magnetic circuit. Although there is air, but this is your magnetic circuit. So this is your useful flux. But some amount of flux does not flow through the magnetic circuit, that is your leakage flux. A total flux phi I, that is equal to useful flux phi G plus leakage flux phi L. You can say the total flux phi I, that is equal to useful flux phi G and leakage flux, that is your phi L. And leakage coefficient, that is equal to lambda. That lambda is equal to useful flux phi I divided by total flux phi I divided by useful flux phi G. And leakage flux, from here you know that phi L, that is equal to total flux phi I minus useful flux phi G. But it should be noted that I have already told you, when there is a sharp edge, the flux density in the sharp edge becomes more, as because flux is same, and at the sharp edge the surface area of the sharp edge is less, so flux per unit area is more. So in this portion some amount of flux are coming like this. This is the denser portion. Denser portion becomes at the sharp edge. But this is a actually three-dimensional figure. So this portion is sharp. But this portion, flux density is less. So more flux are more dense at the sharp portion and less dense is the middle portion. So this is called the fringing effect. This is called the fringing effect in the air gap. So fringing effect is, due to this fringing effect, at the sharp edge, the flux are becoming more dense and at the middle portion becoming less dense. So this is your fringing effect or fringing field effect. You understand my
It's
point?
a continuous distribution.
Yes?
Sir, does the flux, the density gradually decrease continuously from the middle part to the edge, or does it only increase at the edge?
Only increase in the edge portion. Edge portion,
So in the middle it is constant.
middle portion comparatively less dense. So in flux,
No,
whenever
sir, my
there is
question
a
is, sir, how does it decrease, sir? The density, how does it decrease from the middle to the edge?
Because flux density B, that is equal to flux per unit area. So at the sharp edge portion, this is a three-dimensional figure. There is another
Sir, these are also counted as useful flux. That is a flux created due to fringing.
So this is termed as useful flux. That is slightly it is deflecting, but it flows the magnetic path. This is your magnetic path. But this flux is not flowing through the magnetic path. This is your leakage flux. So flux, those are flowing through the magnetic path. Although there may have some air gap, that is your useful flux. And flux
sir-
which is not flowing the magnetic path, that is your leakage flux.
Sir, why flux leakage is taking place?
Hmm?
Why flux leakage is taking place?
Actually, flux leakage is taking place because air can carry flux can be carried in air also. That is the main difference between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. In case of electric circuit, if a circuit is open, the effective resistance is infinite, so current cannot flow. But in a magnetic circuit, air is not absolutely flux insulator. That I have already told you. There is no flux insulator at all. Even vacuum also. There also you have to consider a permeability that is 4 pi to 10 to the minus 7 Henry per meter. So since air can flow plus flux, there is a leakage flux. You understand my point? Unless there is a flux leakage, you cannot create flux linkage with another coil. One coil is there. If there is air core coil, sometimes air core coils are there, no magnetic core at all. So current is flowing here. Current, there is air coil, absolutely air coil. No magnetic material is there. So flux is creating. So flux is creating here, and some amount of flux is linked through the air. That is also leakage flux. But this leakage flux creating the magnetic flux linkage to another coil, and it will induce a magnetic field, electric field here. Since the flux, flux is alternating in nature, it will create a induced EMF here. So that is due to the leakage flux. Unless there is leakage, no leakage, unless there is no leakage flux, you cannot induce magnetic field. I will come to the point next when I will explain the magnetic coupling, mutual inductance, how the mutual inductance is created. Then I can explain this. There must have some leakage flux, and that is why magnetic field coupling is takes place to another coil in air core coil. There is no magnetic material at all. Through the air, flux is linked to the another coil. That is nothing but the leakage flux. Whenever flux is flowing through a magnetic material, a specified flux path is there, then it is your useful flux. Understand my point?
Sir, what is this phi q in the leakage coefficient?
Please hold on. Please hold on. Hello? Hello? কে বলছেন? কে বলছেন? তমাল বা কোন তমাল আমি
ওটা 5G।
ও আচ্ছা 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 যাই হোক আমি একটু পরে কথা বলছি আমি একটা হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ আমি আমি না 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 ভুলে যাবো না আমি একটা ক্লাসে আছি হ্যাঁ আমি একটা ক্লাস নিচ্ছি আমি পরে কথা বলবো হ্যাঁ আমি এই মুহূর্তে একটা ক্লাস নিচ্ছি ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ টেল মি
Sir, what is this phi q in the leakage coefficient?
actually leakage coefficient lambda that is your total flux useful flux divided
That
by
will be 5G, sir. 5G.
yes 5G total flux by your useful flux. So that is total flux by useful flux. Always total flux is more than useful flux. Useful flux must be less. Actually, total flux is creating, that is your useful flux plus leakage flux. So I am explaining this. There is a fringing effect that is due to the flux per unit area at the sharp edge. In this sharp edge, the effective area is comparatively less than the middle portion.
Sir, is it an abrupt increase or like is it continuous?
Whenever you are going towards the edge portion, the flux density become more. But edge portion, this flux density is more. But at the middle portion, flux density is comparatively less. Just like this, so flux becomes
Sir, he is asking about the function of increment, sir.
function of increment.
Yes, sir.
Actually, function of increment is quite gradually it is taking place towards if you go towards the edge portion, the density becomes more due to fringing effect. But whenever you are gradually coming to the center portion, the um in the air, when the flux is flowing through the air, no other case, flux is flowing through the air, then gradually you are coming towards the middle portion, then your flux is less denser. That is your fringing effect.
Sir, the outer more dense and inside less dense all contribute to the useful flux.
Yes, all contribute to the useful flux. That is not leakage flux, that is slight deviation of flux. That is your fringing effect. But not much deviation of flux. That is a slight deviation of flux. You understand my point?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it is 12 now, sir. So,
Yes?
sir, it is 12 o'clock, sir. Means
Okay,
12 o'clock has passed. 12 minute extra, sir.
Okay. We can close now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Sir.